As economies went into lockdown at the start of the pandemic, we saw a dramatic effect on the environment. When we were told to stay at home, roads emptied, rail and bus services reduced their timetables, planes were grounded and factories ceased operation. This resulted in smog clearing from the skies of major cities throughout the world. Wildlife entered spaces it had never ventured before, and even the waters of Venice ran clear. According to recent data, global energy-related CO2 emissions fell by 6.4% in 2020. That's the largest annual percentage decline since World War II and accounts for almost 2.3 billion tonnes of CO2. That's equivalent to almost double Japan's yearly emissions. It is estimated that 2.7 billion people, or more than 4 out of 5 workers in the global workforce, were affected by lockdowns and stay-at-home measures. And of those that were lucky enough to continue working, many were surprised by how quickly and effectively technologies for video conferencing and other forms of digital collaboration performed. Emissions associated with transportation had probably one of the biggest impacts, with the drastic reduction in commuting, because although offices shut their doors and hopefully turned off their building services systems, people began working from their home office, even if it was the kitchen table. That home possibly required heating when normally it wouldn't during the day, lighting when the night started to draw in, and power for the computers and monitors, and millions of kettles boiling to make a single cup of tea instead of the 5 or 6 at a time it would do in a communal office kitchen. So the energy normally associated with an office building was displaced to homes throughout the UK. Last year saw a bit of a return to a new normal during the summer in the UK, but following a second lockdown and now a successful vaccination programme, we are starting to consider a return to the life we had before. This situation has, however, led to a unique opportunity to embrace a new way of working and the role our offices have to play. Many companies have already made announcements that the work-life balance of working from home, coupled with a reduced demand on the office and costs associated, will lead to more flexible working practices. Over the past year, many have enjoyed the benefits of working from home, including increased productivity, along with the satisfaction of taking the dog for a nice long walk when needed. However, others, particularly in younger age groups, millennials and centennials, working at home for any prolonged period is not practical. They might not have the space, particularly if sharing living accommodation, but mentorship, training and development, essential to the working experience, is likely to suffer. This is therefore a great opportunity to reimagine the office, to create workspaces specifically designed to support the kinds of interactions that cannot happen remotely. Achieving the best of both worlds, providing flexibility and maintaining productivity, but also nurturing the talent and providing the environments for collaboration and team working, whilst reducing estate costs. The energy picture will become less clear, however, because as offices reopen at the same time as many continue to work remotely, there could be a doubling up of spaces needing conditioning. Unless commuter transport is scaled back due to reduced need, which won't be popular with commuters even on the quietest of lines, these emission reductions will also not be seen. In the office itself, we are actually currently being told to throw open the windows, air movement and fresh air being the enemy of the virus transmission. But just opening the windows, letting in the hot summer air whilst your AC is pumping out cooling to counter it, is not energy efficient. This is an example of where there is a real danger that by acting to prevent virus spread, we could be increasing carbon emissions, undoing the environmental benefit of the past year. One final point, hopefully one lesson learned from this past year that I really hope carries over, even if we end up with a normal return to the office, is paper waste. It was estimated that the average office worker used to use 10,000 sheets of copy paper per year. How often do we print documents at the office for the convenience, but really don't have to? This past year, I have not printed out a single page of a document, something that, even though I'm conscious of waste, couldn't say happened during a day, never mind a year pre-pandemic. It'll be really great if the tough year we've had actually becomes the catalyst of change in the working environment and building design, which has been desperately needed.